I'd like to call a meeting to order. This meeting is being held in the council chambers and is open for public attendance and participation. Can I have a roll call, please?
Chairperson Brookman,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Joel,
Here.
Commissioner McFarland,
Here.
Commissioner Blankenship,
Here.
Commissioner Sluter, County Liaison Campbell.
All right. Commissioner Sluter, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? You are welcome and encouraged to participate in this meeting. Public comment on items not listed on the agenda will be heard at this time. Comments on controversial items may be limited, and large groups are encouraged to select representatives to express the opinions of the group. Members of the public submitting written requests at least 24 hours prior to the meeting will be normally allotted 5 minutes to speak. Do we have any written requests?
There were no written requests.
Thank you. Members of the public may address the Planning Commission on items of interest that are within the city's jurisdiction. Individuals addressing general comments are encouraged to limit their statements to 3 minutes. Do I have any comments from the public? Seeing none, I will move on. Commission business, item 1, election of 2026 Planning Commission Chairman and Vice Chairman per section E1 of the Planning Commission bylaws. I'd like to open it up to commissioners at this time for recommendations.
I'd like to make a recommendation that we maintain the current chair and current vice chair for the next year.
I'll second.
Having a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 2, agenda modifications. Is there any interest in modifying the agenda? None heard. Item 3, minutes from December 10th, 2025. All matters listed under consent calendar are considered to be routine and can be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items prior to that time. Commission votes on the motion. Unless members of the Planning Commission request specific items to be discussed or removed from the consent calendar for individual action. Is there any public comment on item 2 of the consent calendar? Hearing none, I will bring it back to the commission for comments or action.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes from the December 10th, 2025 meeting.
Second.
Having a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Business item 4, consideration of use permit UP 25-02, 546 Section Street, off-site parking located at 226 Bridge Street.
Chairman, as in an abundance of caution, I am going to recuse myself on this item.
Okay.
All right, good evening, Commissioners. Tonight we'll be taking a look at use permit 25-02. This use permit is for the use of an existing parking lot at 226 Bridge Street as off-site parking for a planned church use at 546 2nd Street. The project is being brought before the Planning Commission as requests for off-site parking must get approval through a use permit process. You can see an aerial project location. In the blue, you'll see the planned church use off of 2nd Street. And in the red, you'll see the off-site parking lot. The church will have 2 entrances. The main one is on 2nd Street, but it'll also have a second entrance off of Sutter Street. Some background. Per the number of seats that will be installed in the church, the parking requirements was set at 75 spaces. However, as the building is located in the more historic part of Yuba City, the area was not built out in a way that accommodates on-site parking spaces as required by our modern municipal code. Therefore, here you can see on Second Street, the limited amount of on-street spaces. Currently, there are 40 adjacent on-street spaces, counting those both on Second Street and Sutter Street, with six spaces on-site at the rear on Sutter Street. And this proposed off-site parking will provide the remaining 29 spaces needed to meet the parking requirement. The distance to access the church from the off-site parking is 85 feet, just crossing Sutter Street. For any churchgoers who wish to use the crosswalks and sidewalks, that's going to be 350 feet going around both sides of Sutter Street. Here you can see the site plan. As an existing parking lot, new landscaping is not required for its continued use as a parking lot. In addition, ADA access and parking standards will be reviewed during the building permit process. Land uses surrounding the project site are primarily commercial, with a single-family residential structure to the south of the existing parking lot. As its existing parking lot, it's not projected to impact the surrounding land uses. In addition, as part of the conditions of approval, these two deteriorated elements on site will be removed. And here are the use permit findings required to grant the use permit, which you can find in the staff report. And in addition, these are the additional findings to approve off-site parking, which is in the staff report and which we've discussed in this presentation. And this project is category exempt from CEQA per section 15301 existing facilities and section 15332 infill development. The project falls within the exemption, the existing facilities exemption, as it seeks approval for the continued operation of an existing parking lot as a parking lot, just as an off-site use. In addition, for the infill development exemption, here are the findings that are made. And the recommendation tonight is to adopt a resolution to determine the project is categorically exempt from CEQA and to approve a use permit 25-02.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission?
I've got one. I know the owner of the building at 226 and didn't even realize there was a parking lot there. Are they going to stripe that parking lot to lay out 29 parking places? Because right now it's unmarked.
Yes, the parking lot will be striped, and in addition, the applicant will restripe the on-street parking spaces as well, just to bring them up to visibility standards.
Okay, thank you.
And in addition, we also have Josh Wolf, our Public Works Director, and the project representative, John Ochipinti, if you have any questions for them.
I just wanted to confirm one of your slides. You did say that during the building permit, you would be looking over the accessibility, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that that was something that's going to be looked at. Thank you.
Any more questions? All right, I'd like to open it up to public hearing. Any statements from the public? I'd like to close the public. Just make sure to push the button there to turn on that mic.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Perfect. John Ochipinti, reside at 2319 Lincoln Road in Yuba City for years. And just in closing, this is a small church. They actually lease a portion of some space that I have down off of Garden Highway currently. In fact, originally it was Adventure Church. When Adventure Church grew to a size, we ended up moving them over to the bowling alley. Worked out great for them. This little church, same way. It started out with a little over, I think, 110 parishioners. And they've grown now to about 220, 240, they want to buy space because where they're out there, they've got more than enough space, but it's a facility that we own. We're not interested in selling, so just like Adventure Church, we're going to move them to this facility. That's how this all started. And while they've got, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we've got 240 seats laid out in there. That would be everybody would show up at once and whatever. They won't do that anymore. They're actually doing, they'll have 2 masses. And so, maybe 100, 110 people there at a mass. I really doubt we're going to use any of that parking lot. But what we're doing it for mainly is in the future, should they grow some, whatever, and we're figuring they will, that they've got ample parking. I personally go to a church in St. Joseph's Church in Marysville. I counted pews the other day just to figure out how many people were in there. I never really knew. But there's 500 to 600 people at a mass there in St. Joseph's. And there is no off-site parking at all. It's all on street. And, I've gone there for years. I've never walked more than a block. People usually don't just come one at a time, a few will. Especially with this is a Hispanic church, they tend to show up 3, 4, 5 in a car. And I don't think parking is going to be an issue. This is more for precaution in future than it is anything else. And that being said, be glad to try to answer any questions you might have for me.
Any questions from commissioners? I think
Thank
we're
you.
good. Thank you, sir. Can I go ahead and close the public hearing? Can I get a motion for item 4?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution to determine the project categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to the guidelines section 15301 and 15332 and approve the use permit 2502 subject to the conditions of the approval for the use of an off-site parking lot on 226 Bridge Street for a church use at 2546 2nd Street.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. At this time, we need to get Commissioner McFarland from the back.
Welcome back.
Okay, business item 5, consideration of an impact to the Planning Commission bylaws. Presentation by Doug Libby, Developmental Services Director.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. So this is really just a housekeeping item. So you might remember that, historically the city and county provided planning commissioners to each other's planning commission. And this did change last year with the transition to district-based planning commission. And it did result in the county planning commissioner position transitioning to a non-voting liaison. The process of establishing a city planning commissioner on the county planning commission does require us to update the bylaws to be consistent with the ordinance that was adopted by the city council last year. So the existing bylaws talk about annually the mayor would make a recommended appointment to an accepting planning commissioner. However, the way the ordinance was changed, it says annually the planning commission may nominate a member to serve on the county as either a voting member or liaison. So not knowing, based upon the city's actions of having a transition to district base and resulting in the non-voting liaison, we took that into account that could, in theory, happen with the county, so we worded it as such. And so really, this is just changing out the language in your bylaws to match what the council adopted by ordinance. It is exempt from environmental review. And so we're recommending to accept any public input we may have, and then adopt a resolution updating the Planning Commission bylaws for consistency with Municipal Code Section 8-1.01F. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? All right. Thank you, Doug. I'd like to open it up for public hearing. I'd like to close the public hearing at this point, and would like to request a motion for item 5.
Make a motion to adopt a resolution updating the Planning Commission's bylaws for consistency with the Municipal Code Section 8-1.01F.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Business item 6, nomination of a planning commissioner to serve on the Sutter County Planning Commission.
I'd like to make a motion that we nominate Scott Blankenship as the commissioner to sit on the Sutter County Planning Commission as our representative.
All right. That's something you're interested in, correct? Is that something you're interested in? Yeah. Okay. We
Yes,
have
I
a
am.
motion. Do we have a second?
I will second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Future agenda items. Jaspreet Kaur.
Hi, good evening. So for future agenda items, we will be canceling the February 11th Planning Commission meeting, and on February 25th, we will be bringing forward our ordinance update for our mobile vendor, open air vendors. I don't know if you guys have seen the Appeal Democrat or Facebook, but it's definitely drawing some attention, and Doug can speak more to that if you have any questions about that. And then within the next couple months, a couple of projects that we're working on. We do have a use permit currently in review for a new gas station and a vacant spot at the corner of Butte House and Stabler, so where Rite Aid used to be. So they are going to convert 5,000 square feet into a convenience store, with the remainder 11,000 square feet approximately to be future tenant space with, I think it's like 8 pumps or so. And then we also have a use permit currently in review for a coffee shop, 7 Brew. It's more popular on the East Coast, so they are making their way to California. So we have that in review, and that will be at the Yuba Sutter Mall. So right between Panera Bread and Jack in the Box, I believe, a portion of their parking lot. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Item 8, Development Service Director Report. Doug.
All right, well, we've got some good things to talk to you about. So last year was the first year since the Great Recession where the city permitted 130 single-family homes. Traditionally, since the Great Recession, so since 2008, we've done anywhere from, let's just say, up to 50 homes. So for us to now jump up to 130 in that amount of time, I mean, it's pretty significant. It's small by standards if you're comparing us to Roseville, or Sacramento. But, we've been pretty stagnant for a long time with housing. And so to see that was very exciting. Along with that, we do have some subdivisions that were already entitled that are getting off the ground. You've probably seen some of the construction. West Sanborn and Chima Ranch, located on the west side of Sanborn Road, north of Bogue Road. So West Sanborn is going to be built out by D.R. Horton, and and just immediately north is Chima Ranch, and that's going to be being developed by LGI Homes. So they are moving forward. You're probably going to see model homes going up for each of those this spring. So, for commercial development, as you've seen kind of southwest of 99 and 20 intersection on Woodward Street, we have the new Spring Hill Suites being constructed. That's a 91-room hotel with an 8,000 square foot of conference space. And so they're moving along. I think you're actually seeing construction on the 4th floor now, so which is kind of neat to see. Got some news for the old Evans Furniture Building. So that been vacant for about a year now. And so that's been sold to Feather River Tribal Health. They have evaluated it and recently pulled a demo permit. So in the very near future, you should probably see some work going out there, and the structure that you are used to driving by and seeing is going to go away. So they are putting together their plans for submission to the city for a development plan for developing a new health facility. So you might remember they're located actually in the county on the west side of 99, I think just north of Richland. And so they're going to keep that facility open, probably more for administration, and then open a much larger facility to provide healthcare services at the old Evans site. So stay tuned for more on that. It's also kind of unusual for Yuba City to be able to say that, hey, we have 2 affordable housing developments occurring in our jurisdiction at the same time. Almost unheard of. We have Phase 1 Merriman is now turning dirt, so 79 units in Phase 1. We also have the Richland Village by the Regional Housing Authority for 133 units over in the Richland housing area on the east side of town by the airport. So, just exciting to see because this housing really is needed for our community. And so it's been so hard to get these projects to fruition. So, just want to share that good news with you. So with that would conclude my comments.
All right. Thank you, Doug. Business item 9, report of actions of the Yuba City Planning Commission and Sutter County update. But I do not think, with Carrie not being here, we won't get one from there. And I don't think we have a commissioner currently assigned, do we?
No, not at this time.
All right. So we will skip that and go ahead and adjourn the meeting.
All right. Thank you, everyone.